Have you ever stopped to ask yourself what you'd lose if you gave up the life you've built for a so-called easy fix? I did. I traded my home for a nursing home, and it's a regret that haunts me every single day. In the next 12 minutes, I'm laying bare 6 hard truths I wish I'd known before I handed over my keys. Truths that could spare you or someone you love from a heartbreak that sneaks up slow and stays forever. Whether you're in the USA, UK, Canada, Australia, or anywhere west, if you're over 60 or care about someone who is, I promise you'll leave this video with a clarity that could change everything. Stay with me. This isn't just my story. It's your lifeline. Let's rewind a bit. Picture this. A small house with a porch that creaked just right. A kitchen where I'd burned toast more times than I could count. A backyard where my roses fought the seasons and won. It wasn't fancy. Maybe a 2-bedroom in Portland or a terrace in Liverpool, but it was mine. I'd spent 40 years there, raising 2 kids who'd scrawl crayons on the walls, hosting summer cookouts where the smoke lingered till midnight, tinkering in the garage until my hands were black with grease. Life wasn't perfect. The roof leaked once a decade, the stairs groaned louder as I hit 60. But it was a rhythm I knew. Then came the whispers. You're getting older. You need help. Why not simplify? A glossy nursing home flyer showed up. Smiling seniors, manicured lawns, worry-free living. I thought, maybe they're right. So I packed boxes, sold my tools, hugged my neighbors goodbye, and moved in expecting peace. Like I was a wake-up call I can't shake. If you're sitting in your own home now, maybe a snowy cabin in Alberta or a sunny flat in Adelaide, this is where my mistake becomes your chance to listen freedom and loneliness. Truth number 1. They promise comfort, but they steal your freedom, and it's a theft you feel in your bones. I'd imagined a nursing home as this golden retirement. Hot meals on a tray, someone to vacuum the floors, a safety net for my creaking knees. What a fantasy. Back home, I'd wake up in my Chicago apartment or my Bristol cottage whenever I darn well pleased. Maybe 6 a.m. for coffee. Maybe 9 if I felt lazy. I'd shuffle to the kitchen, flip on the radio, decide if it was a day for oatmeal or eggs. Now, breakfast at 7. No exceptions. Cold toast if you're late. Bedtime's 10. Showers are Tuesday and Friday. And if you want to walk outside, you'd better hope the staff's free. I used to drive to the lake on a whim. Wind in my hair, Springsteen on the stereo. Here, I'm lucky to get 5 minutes in a courtyard that smells like bleach. In the West, we grow up chanting freedom, but this place makes you a prisoner in your own life. Truth number 2, loneliness doesn't vanish. It digs in deeper. I figured being around people would chase away the quiet days. I'd see staff hustling, residents swapping small talk over tea, and think I'll fit right in. But it's a mirage. At home, I had my people. My son dropping by with a 6-pack, my grandkids tearing through the living room with sticky hands, my old mate Jim who'd ramble about cricket or baseball, depending on the season. I'd sit on my porch in Houston or my balcony in Glasgow, waving at folks who knew my name. Here, it's a revolving door of faces. Nurses too busy to chat. Residents I barely know. One evening, I sat in a lounge, 20 people around me, a game show blaring, and I felt like a ghost. Research says over 30% of nursing home residents battle loneliness, even in packed places like LA or Sydney. It's not company, it's a crowd, and it leaves you hollow. Identity and guilt. Truth number 3, your identity gets sanded down to nothing. For 65 years, I was a person, a welder who'd fix anything, a dad who'd built tree houses, a guy who'd belt out Johnny Cash at family parties, off-key and proud. I had a life that meant something. Neighbors knew me as the Rose Guy. Kids call me Fix-It Fred. In a nursing home, I'm a number, room 19, the one who needs his meds at noon. My tools are gone. My garden's a memory. My stories drown in the hum of fluorescent lights. I met a man here once, Bill, a retired teacher from Seattle, who'd inspired kids for decades. Now he's just the guy with the walker. Another woman, a painter from Melbourne, hasn't touched a brush in years. We're not us anymore. We're shadows of who we were, and that loss cuts deep. Truth number 4, guilt shadows every step. I started asking myself, Did I fail my family by coming here? Did I make it too easy for them to move on without me? My daughter visits, rushing from a deadline in Toronto or a school pickup in Cardiff. And I see it. The tight smile, the quick hug, the way she checks her watch. She doesn't say it, but I feel it. I've become a chore, a box to tick. I spent decades teaching her to chase her dreams, not to babysit mine. But this place flipped the script. I talked to a guy here, Tom from Perth. He said his kids stopped calling as much once he settled in. They think I'm sordid, he told me, but I'm not. Across the West, families wrestle with this. Did they push mom or dad too soon? Did they give up too fast? It's a guilt that gnaws at both sides, and it's heavier than the walls around us. Dignity and time. Truth number 5. Dignity's the real currency, and you'll spend it all. The bills sting. $8,000 a month in the USA for £1,000 in the UK, thousands anywhere you look, but that's just the start. It's the moments that hit harder. I'd wait an hour for a nurse to help me to the bathroom. Me, who used to climb ladders to patch roofs in a storm. I'd ask for a cup of tea and get a lukewarm mug 20 minutes later, if at all. The staff, meanwhile, they're kind folks, overworked and underpaid, but there's only so many of them. In Boise or Birmingham, I pour my own water, adjust my own blanket. Here, I'm at someone else's mercy, and it chips away at you. You're not a person. You're a task on a clipboard. And in a world that cheers do-it-yourself, that's a bitter pill. Truth number 6. Time stops being yours. It just drifts away. At home, every day had a pulse. Watching snow pile up in Montreal, flipping burgers under stars in Austin, even just sitting with a book as rain tapped my window in Dublin. Time meant something. It was mine to shape. Here, it's a blur. Wake up, eat, sit, sleep, repeat. I'd stare at the same 4 walls, counting cracks in the paint, while the clock ticked louder than my thoughts. A study I read said 60% of nursing home residents feel life loses purpose. No wonder. One night, I found an old photo of me and my wife laughing at a picnic 20 years ago, free as birds. Now, I'm caged in routine, wondering how I let time turn into a thief. But here's the thing. I'm not here to just wallow. My regret's a lesson, and you still got time to learn it. You're not old at 60, 70, 80. You're a fighter who's seen recessions, raised kids, built homes from LA to London. I could have stayed put, a caregiver a few hours a week, a stair lift, a family that pitched in. You can too. Don't let a nursing home steal your next chapter. If you're over 60, dig in. Call a friend today, tweak your space, dream louder. If you got parents or grandparents, don't let them slip into this. Sit down, ask what home means, then fight for it together. Tell me below, what's one move you'll make to keep your fire burning? This isn't my end. It's your beginning. Let's show the West that seniors don't just fade. We rise stronger than ever.